Okay, we have a pretty good image there, but I think that there's some things we can do to finish it up, make it even better, and show you a few tricks along the way. The thing that pops out to me is the sky still. It's a bit darker than it was, but I'd like to see a little bit more blue. And so what we're going to do is add a layer that is a solid color, and Photoshop's defaulting to black, but I'm going to get some blues. I think that's probably a pretty good, I'm just guessing here. And we're going to lower the opacity down to say around 30%. So our sky's better, but we don't want it here. So we have to get rid of the blue cast in this layer mask. And so what we're going to use to do that is the gradient tool here. Make sure we're selected on the mask. And I'm going to start down here, click, and drag to right in there. And that's better. We still have some on her. And so what we're going to do in that case is get our brush tool, zoom in, where our foreground color is black, so we're going to be painting with black on the mask, and just paint it all in right onto her. And we might need to do a bit more touch up around certain edges where we don't need that blue, but with the big soft brush it can be gradual so that we don't notice it at all. Looks like I left some on her face still. We want to get rid of that. And we're pretty close there, but it's still a bit dark, so I'm just going to come back and lower the opacity some, and that, I believe, looks much more believable. The next thing we need to do, I think, is create a vignette. And so what I'm going to do is grab the elliptical marquee tool, and I have a feather of 250 pixels, and I'm going to drag out an area that I would like to have this vignette set for. Move it to where I want it. That looks good. And now I'm going to create a new layer with this button down here in the layers palette. The next step I need is to create a mask with this area. So to get this as the masked out part, I need to push the Alt key while I come down here and create a mask. And you can see right here I created this mask, but there's nothing, it's an invisible layer, essentially. There's nothing on it. So I'm going to click back onto the layer and go to Edit, Fill, and I'm going to fill with black. Okay, you can see it made the vignette, but that's way too dark. So I'll come back to the opacity and lower it to around 30%, maybe less. Oftentimes I find 33% or so is good for some images. This one is darker as it is, so I'll probably bring it lower to say 21%, and I can click the layer off and on to see its impact, and I think that we've made an image that's quite a bit better. The next step that we need to do to finish this whole thing off, you can save this as a layered PSD if you want, PSD file, but all these layers are going to build up. They're going to just add size and take up hard drive space. So unless you really think that you need to come back and work on these layers sometime, what you can do is go to Layer and Flatten Image, and now we're flat, and we can save it as it is, Or if you want to print it, then you go to the crop tool and find your size, which I can find right in here, say 8 by 10, or you could just enter it into the slots here. This happens to be backwards. I want it 10 wide instead of 8 wide, so clicking that button switches it around, and I simply just come in and drag it, and boom, I'm ready to print an 8 by 10.